Hello and welcome to episode 11, the penultimate episode of the Euroshame Challenge 2. Due to another failed attendance, I'll be standing in for Simon's replacement, Adam. I'll be joined by Terry's replacement, Colm. And my replacement, Justin.
Hello.
How's it going?
So, first of all, what have you been playing? Justin.
Okay, so at the moment, as of about, I turned it off about 45 minutes ago. I'm maintaining my slog through Assassin's Creed. I said I'd have to get through 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, and Assassin's Creed 3 by the end of the challenge, which means in September I have to have played the last game. And I have just finished memory sequence 4 or 5. Basically, I've just got Connor, and I've just been let out of the village. So
how is it? Is it a standard Assassin's Creed? So there's probably 10, 12 sequences.
I don't know how many sequences there is, but basically, you spend the first 3 of them as someone completely different.
Ah, okay.
What was it called? Haytham Kenway or Haysham Kenway, something like that. And I haven't yet worked out if he's related to Edward Kenway from Assassin's Creed 4, but there's no explanation as to why you're this chap. It's just it starts off all the Assassin's Creed games pretty much finish exactly where the last one ended.
Yeah.
And they then have a previously on Assassin's Creed thing. So you start off with Desmond basically passing out and then getting chucked in the Animus, because that's what they seem to do when he goes into one of these little comas.
Yeah.
And he becomes this guy who is in an opera house in London. And next thing you know, you're on a boat travelling to the New World.
Okay.
And then get set up in Boston. And it just seems, it's quite a different set of pace. You're certainly not... don't have any sense of urgency or anything like that. And after 3 memory sequences, basically you come out of the Animus with a big shock twist and then go back in it and start your campaign as Connor.
Interesting. Well, I've only last night, in fact less than 24 hours ago, actually finished Assassin's Creed 2.
Ah, so you've just taken the leap of faith off the bell tower then? That's how 2 finishes.
No, it's not. You need to continue. You've missed a sequence. Assassin's Creed 2, it's the one with 2 missing sequences. And then there's the 14th sequence where you have to get all the bits of the
it suddenly
codex.
Just goes, no, we can't load that, and then you end up at the mansion and you find the map of the world.
Yes. Yeah, so that's the one. And then it ends with... okay. Yeah, sorry. Okay. I thought you were giving me spoilers from the next one then, so...
I'll leave that there then.
Okay.
I've played so many in the last 6 months, I can't remember what comes
You can't distinguish.
So how did you find 2? Because a lot of people will rank 2 as one of their best ones.
Okay, so it's kind of skipping around a little bit here, but I, when I was doing the challenge, I had the Game of the Year edition and got through to the 5th sequence, I think. Then decided it was a massive game because I was doing everything.
Yeah.
Sold it, and then we got it free as part of the Games with Gold back in July, I think, last year. So decided to, because I was on holiday last week, I thought, right, okay, let's start up and let's just get this finished. I've got, halfway through. But because I had the Game of the Year edition, it wouldn't let me load my save. So I had to start from scratch, which is rather annoying. So, but what I decided to do was just run straight through the story, enjoy the story, and then because I've already got Brotherhood and Revelations and Assassin's Creed 3, then at least I'll get all the main plot points and continue. Doing it that way wasn't bad at all. It only took me about 12 hours.
Yeah, I think I burned through them relatively well. Once I stopped giving a damn about there's another icon on the map, so I've got to go and find out about it.
Yes. I actually turned off all the icons. I just left it.
It makes such a difference when you do that, doesn't it? There's so little distractions.
Yeah, but as a game, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story, and it left on quite a epic cliffhanger. Again, for people that haven't played it, I don't want to spoil it, but there's something worldly going on, and it finishes on quite a cliffhanger. Yeah, and I'm actually looking forward to playing. Is it Brotherhood or Revelations?
Brotherhood's next. Revelations is after that, and it revisits our Altair as well. Okay,
cool. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to getting into the next one. Yeah, very good.
Cool. So yeah, I think it says I'm something like 12% completed, but I've got about 5 hours into the game at the moment. I don't know how many sequences are in it, but the fact that I've got to what most people would call the game, because if you speak to anyone who's played Assassin's Creed 3, they just say it's about Connor. They don't mention anyone else. So
right, okay.
The fact that I've only just started as him means probably the game is about to properly begin.
Right, understood.
So I've got that. I'm still playing through Crash Bandicoot, PS1 game on Vita. I'm now on. It's got to the stage I said last time round that games were hard back in the day, and I've got much more used to the twitchy controls and the fact that the D-pad is in an awkward position on the Vita, but I can't see how they could have made it any better, really.
Yeah.
And I'm on the last island, and I'm doing reasonably well, but you can only save if you can pass one of the mini-games. And it does somewhat throw lives at you, but it's very unforgiving as you get toward the end. What I found is I really, really hate 3D platformers where you run into and out of the screen. Because judging the distance, when you're jumping onto a bridge section that's half of the bridge is missing, you've got to balance on that one strut that's remaining. Trying to judge where you're landing is very difficult. And I found the same with Mario 64. There's all these people who say Mario 64 is one of the best Marios ever. I hated it. I really did because I felt like I was fighting with the camera so much, trying to turn it so that I could have it where I wanted it.
Yeah.
And then you start moving and it spins again. Anyway, back to this. I've also been putting a bit of time into Pixel Junk Shooter on the Vita as well.
That actually surprised me, that game. I didn't know what to expect. And from the screenshots, that didn't look too good, but it's a very addictive game, isn't it?
The thing is, from the name, you expect it to be a bullet hell game.
Yes.
You expect it to be a scrolling shooter with 50,000 shots being fired at you and you having to dodge them all. But it's not. It's basically a cave exploration and just rescuing people. It's a bit like a head over view, sort of top down view of Choplifter or something like that.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
So it's actually quite a slow paced game. And it's relaxing, but it's challenging at the same time if you're trying to, not shoot the people that you're rescuing.
Yeah.
And I picked up FTL last month. Thank you to thanks to getting gifted that, as I mentioned on the show. And I've played through that a few times. Well, I say I've played through it. It's really hard to get into.
How far have you got?
I've now got. My best run has got me to the 6th stage of the first platform.
Okay.
So I have now unlocked 2 different ship classes.
Okay.
But I can't see that they're going to be any better. So for anyone that doesn't know what FTL is, you basically you see a map of the galaxy, and you have to jump to a star system, and you'll either have there'll be either a store there to buy stuff, or there'll be a encounter with another ship, which may or may not be friendly. Usually it's not. And you can choose to run or fight or, trade and basically survive. But when you're getting shot at, you go into areas where there's solar flares going off, and, you basically... It's a struggle to keep your ship in one piece, and invariably you either die to exposure or you die because you get your ship destroyed by taking on more than you can fight.
Yeah. It's a very interesting game. I know my other half, it's one of her main games, and she's probably clocked over 100 hours on it. And she's got to the so on the next level that you're on is where you get to see the boss.
Yeah.
And there's 3 rounds of boss, and she can take it out twice. She just can't do the third round. And she's played it in many, many different ways. She's unlocked pretty much all the ships. And it's an absolute slog to do. I mean, I've seen the boss once, and he just took me out within seconds.
Yeah.
But it's a very tactical game. There's a lot of, as you said, there's a lot of choices you can make, aren't there? You can either attack, defend, trade, or just leg it. And each decision you make, and because it's randomly generated as well, you can never make, you can never plot out the correct choices all the way through.
No. And even when you get to the end and you jump to the next star system, it will give you a map, and it will say, you have a set of 2 options that you can choose, and usually it'll be one is like an allied control area, one might be hostile, one might be a different allied control area.
Yeah.
But all the while you're basically trying to race from left to right on the screen without getting caught by the pursuing armada. Yeah,
absolutely. But very good game.
Yeah. For what it is, it's very simple. It's point and click, and it runs on my PC, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those are the games I've got in progress. As far as what I've completed, I was very happy at 3:00 yesterday morning. I completed Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
I rage quit that game and deleted it.
The reason it was 3:00 in the morning was because I got to the last boss fight at 1:00 in the morning and thought, I can do this.
I got to a bloody dog with a chainsaw for a tail.
Yeah, that's that is, I think, the first real boss you get to. The thing is, if you look at any like online sort of help guide or anything like that, it basically murders this game for teaching you how to do something after the fight you needed to know how to do it in.
Yes.
Because you basically, you have to block a lot in that fight. And you finish it, and then it goes, okay, you've now got the tutorial on how to block.
Nice.
And it really is that ridiculous. But the funny thing is, that dog, you basically, if you kill him and move on, he becomes an ally.
Oh, right. Okay.
So later on, he joins you on missions, and like you can talk to him on the codec, and he's like an AI, and he's quite an interesting one, and understands the concept of sarcasm and things like that.
Okay. I mean, to be honest, I did enjoy it up to that point, and then I just had this fight in this little alley with it, and I had about 5-6 attempts through the controller, turned off the PS3, and then deleted it next time I fired it up.
It took me a number of goes to finish that fight without cheating or looking up guides or anything like that. But what I eventually decided to do was just every time I even vaguely saw it running toward me, I would run out of the way, wait for it to stop moving, dash in, hit it once, run away, and, make it a 10-minute fight, but I got through it.
Wow.
Which, interestingly, is the same way I finished the majority of the fights on Ni no Kuni when I completed that.
Okay.
Okay, so, Colm, did you finish Ni no Kuni when you were playing it? Or have you not started it yet?
No, I didn't finish it.
No.
Don't be surprised, Justin. I got up to level 14 or something like that, but I wasn't very long into the fight.
How many party members had you got? Is it just, had you picked up the girl and the guy as well, or neither of them?
I had 2 little things, like the Welsh talking, whatever.
Oh, Mr. Drippy, yeah.
And another
the girl
character.
Yeah.
The girl, yeah. That was
okay, so the next town, you end up getting the guy to join you as well. And I won't tell... Well, there's a big spoiler about who he is, but he has a gun and he can shoot things. Right. But basically, Ni no Kuni is a turn-based... Well, it's not even turn-based. It's a real-time strategy RPG encounter. Think Final Fantasy, but you can actually choose to run away from things on the map and pursue them to engage in the fight. But it also has the real annoying thing about squad-based combat in these games. And I can't remember if it was the same with Final Fantasy XII when I played through that, but you have an option by default of leave the AI in your team to, and I quote, do what you want.
Okay.
Now, the problem with doing that is they're going to burn through all their mana points really quickly. And they then won't be able to keep you alive. And if you keep them alive and, you become the healer, they still don't really kill things because they're too busy burning all their mana trying to use all their heavy hits. And, there are moments where you just see their minion just kind of sat there doing nothing. What I found when I got to the boss fights was the most successful way for me to do it was basically just ignore them, let them die, and me just concentrate on defending and, chipping away at the boss. And yeah, there were several boss fights I got to, which according to strategy guides, I was doing 10, 15 levels earlier than I was supposed to. Like I was getting to them at level... I think I finished the last boss at level 50, and you're not supposed to really try and take her on until at least mid-60s.
Okay.
But it's because I was concentrating on me and and just let everyone else die.
Okay.
It started off as pretty much an interactive movie with a few cutscenes, and it just turned into the most boringest grinding game ever.
Right.
The thing is, I was getting to boss fights before I was ready for them, or supposedly ready for them. You go into a new area of the map, and as with all these types of games, when you're, they set out the path that you have to follow. You go to areas, and the random encounters, you suddenly get things that are a lot harder hitting, and they kill you within sort of 6-7 hits.
Mm-hmm.
And usually what that means is you have to go and run around and grind and, come back later, and then suddenly you get a lot more experience points for killing them, and, you consequently then level up faster now that you can hold your own in that environment. But at the same time, there's good citizen help quests. So you'll run around the towns and someone will say like, oh, my husband stopped having any passion for his work. He's lost all his enthusiasm. So you'll have to go off and find someone else around the town who's got loads of enthusiasm and basically steal some to give to the one who's fed up now.
Okay.
That's the helping hand mechanic. You take a piece of heart and give it to the person who's broken-hearted. And you don't actually get any experience points for doing this. You just get stamps on a card which do random things. You cash in your completed stamp cards for higher success rate at drops on a fight, or you can jump, which does absolutely nothing other than lets the character jump. It's an animation, so
okay.
It doesn't really do anything to improve the game, and you're encouraged to do these things, but it just seems like there's no actual reward for doing it. And it's like, Assassin's Creed 2 going off and collecting the feathers.
Yes.
They're there, but there's no real point to actually doing it.
No.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get through? Because I've heard it. Is it quite a big game?
I completed it on something like 52 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that was 52 hours. Metal Gear Rising was about 10 to 12 hours. And then I completed Mass Effect 1 on Insanity.
Oh, God, jeez.
Impressive. Well, is that New Game Plus? So you went in with
I started with a level 52 character and I finished with a level 60 character.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and that game has now been put back in the box with Mass Effect 2 for 2 platinums.
Very good.
When I finish doing the challenge, then I'll be playing through Mass Effect 3 with all of the DLC. So I'll have From Ashes, Leviathan, Omega, Citadel, and I've only actually played through. I think the last time I tried to play it screwed me out of the Insanity achievement because I didn't switch it on until that's difficulty level until, I don't know, 2 minutes too late, and it screwed me over.
Right.
But
Ouch.
I didn't have the From Ashes, I didn't have Leviathan, and didn't have Omega, so I will be playing a lot more content that I've not touched before.
Okay. I mean, to be honest, the Mass Effect series is probably one of my favourite series. Absolutely love that universe.
It has its flaws,
Yes.
and the game mechanics differ very very well from one game to the next. But in terms of like lore and the ability to relate to the characters and care for them, it's one of the best games in recent years to actually let you, through very much fault of your own, lose your party members.
Yes. Because if I remember rightly, there's a Chivo for getting everybody through the second one, isn't there?
Yes. Yeah, I did that on my second run. The first run, Miranda died, and no matter how many times I replayed the last fight, I couldn't keep her alive.
Yeah. It was all about who you sent where, wasn't it? With their strengths and stuff.
And if they were loyal to you. But I had Miranda and Jack have a bit of a fight, and I picked Jack, and Miranda never forgave me.
Ah.
Oh dear.
But when Tally and Legion had a fight, I got them both to shut up.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's me. That's what I've been playing.
Okay, well, thanks, Justin. Looking on here, Adam has beaten 2 games. So he's beaten, is it Expendabro?
Expendabros, yeah.
Not a game I'm familiar with.
Have you not? That's a bit like Broforce. Where the characters name things like Rambro.
Right, okay.
Everything's a bro.
Right. Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know that one either.
No.
I heard of it, but I don't know it.
And he's also beaten Max Curse of the Brotherhood, which again is a game I probably got about 2 hours into and thought, it's a bit samey. I don't know, has anybody else got any experience with it?
No, is that not a Microsoft exclusive one?
Yeah.
That was one on the Xbox One.
I've played a bit. I played a little bit, but not enough to.
I thought it was very pretty, but I just felt it got a little bit samey after about 2 hours. I mean, I might go back to it, but
yeah.
But you've got all of the games, as we all have.
The games. Yeah, Colm. In progress, he's got Football Manager 2014. He's got 30 hours plus. My gut feeling is, based on all my other Steam friends that have got Football Manager, 30 hours is barely scratching the surface. He's also playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Interesting.
So that's 4. I think he's on Xbox One on that version.
Okay, be interesting to know where he got it from, but
did you not say that last time round?
I may not be. Okay. Strike Suit Zero, which was a freebie. It was last month's Games with Gold?
Pass.
I believe it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Because I played till about level 3 of that, and I just got very bored with it. It just felt very laborious. It looked very pretty, handled very pretty, but I think I got to level 3, and it was nearly an hour. And if I remember correctly, I don't think the save points were very friendly. Because I remember doing this bit and just getting bored, paused it. In fact, saved it, went back to it, and it started me at the back at the beginning of the level. I was like, nope, delete. And Rise, Son of Rome, that's another Xbox exclusive. Torchlight, which I'm not sure which played that on. I've got that on Steam, that's actually a very good dungeon crawler.
Yeah, it's great, yeah.
And he's abandoned Dead Space 3, which was, I know that was a freebie on PS3 a couple of months ago.
Just quickly, Adam did pick up Assassin's Creed 4 during our 5th episode. He mentioned it.
Oh, right. Okay.
When he got Two Brothers, Spud's Quest, Assassin's Creed 4, Witcher 2, SteamWorld Dig, Monaco. I think he was saying that he had all that like £80 worth of like credit on.
Oh yeah, all that.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It'd be infinite credit.
It's bad as bloody Colm.
Hold on. I never made any excuses.
We can keep this in or we can cut it out, but
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
That's staying in.
I'm pretty sure, Colm, there was I don't know what it was. What was it? Valentine's Day. So I've been very good boy. Would you believe it? I got €50 just for, like, really? You are a very good lad. And I went down to the shop for some milk and she gave me another 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say no more. So the grilling begins.
So anyway, Colm, what have you played?
Stuff I probably shouldn't have played, but there you go. Outlast, because I got my Xbox 360 for my birthday.
Your Xbox One.
Or Xbox One, sorry.
Yeah.
Going retro with the new purchases.
And I had Outlast. My son had Outlast on his one, so I was able to play it.
Sure. Okay. What did you think?
Scared the out of me.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
Sorry.
Enjoyed it.
That's just me marking in the beep sensor.
Oh yeah,
there.
sorry. Yeah. Scared the life out of me.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll put the beep in.
So I beat that.
Okay.
And for some reason, I ended up probably playing it twice because I was playing it on his gamer card first.
Okay.
I started on mine, then and he was giving out to me and said, "Oh, come on, we played on my one." So I played on his. Then ended up finishing on his, and then I went back to my own. After finishing the game, then I didn't get the achievement straight up, but I believe there's problems with the achievements on Xbox One anyway.
There is, yeah.
So, but I got it the next time I logged in, so it was okay. I'm starting to sound like a achievement person, but I'm not mad about them, so it doesn't matter. I was going to say something worse there, but there you go. I finished Mario and Luigi.
Okay.
Which one?
Dream Team.
Oh, yeah.
On the 360. Really love that game. Just really fun game. RPG, light, sort of, nothing too hectic. Couple of little tricky moments in it, but really, really enjoyed that game.
Okay.
So I put about 35 or 40 hours into that game. And a couple of others. I'm still playing Dragon Age Origins.
Okay.
I've gathered all the allies, and now I'm in the castle waiting for the lands meet. I have to do a few other side quests. I've talked to the queen and convinced her to marry and all this stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't want to give too much away, but yeah.
How's your relationship with Morrigan?
Not too bad, I don't think.
It needs to be good.
Okay.
Isn't there a default good?
Well,
because I spent the game trying to be good, and then before the finale, I was good. If that makes sense.
Well, I know. Depending on what you do, you can actually you can get the wussy guy. You can actually get him killed.
Yeah, that.
Like you can get him properly executed.
Alexander. Alistair.
Oh, Alistair. Yeah.
Alistair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get him killed.
You can get him executed in front of you. Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Oh, for feck's sakes! I'm starting to like him. I got him to marry the queen now.
Oh yeah, he doesn't like doing it. You can actually, if you want to as well, you can turn him gay. If you're a male person, you can.
I'm not sadistic enough. Too old for that stuff now. Stop it. Not that I have anything against it, but I just couldn't be bothered. He does have a bit of a womanly way about him, all right. But
he does, yeah.
I still think the best thing about that game, if you've unlocked if you have the Stone Prisoner DLC, is Shale.
Yeah,
because Shale's backstory is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, when I was playing it, I did all the DLC while playing and took all those allies with me.
All right.
Shale was a big stone troll.
Yeah, big golem.
I have him. Have a golem, yeah. But for some reason, the map, when I go to the map, it still highlights that town that he was in. Still comes up like brighter than all the other towns, and I've already got him. I already released him.
No, I think it just highlights it because it's a DLC one.
Ah, right, okay, fair enough. Yeah, well, I got that, but I don't have all the other DLC. But I do have the whole complete game for Steam, but I haven't got it for the Xbox, and I had started playing on the Xbox beforehand, so
Okay.
I'm continuing.
It's quite a big
with that.
game, so yeah.
Yeah. And I'm playing Lego Harry Potter and Lego City. Lego City I'm enjoying a lot more than Lego Harry Potter.
Is Lego City, you playing it on the Wii or the 3DS?
The Wii U.
The Wii U, okay.
Yeah. Something I picked up last year there.
Yeah?
During the Year of Shame.
Wasn't that also the Wii?
No, I had the Wii already.
But wasn't...
Wii U.
Sorry, the Wii U, yeah. But wasn't that very close to the deadline?
Oh, no, I picked it up during my Year of Shame.
Oh, okay.
With some transactions.
Yes, transactions, okay.
Yeah, some dodgy transactions. Anyway, so the trouble with the thing I'm finding with the Lego Harry Potter one is I'm not enjoying it as much as I enjoyed the Batman one.
Okay.
I'm not sure why. I'm not really loving it at the moment. Lego City.
Is it fully voice acted? So the Harry Potter one?
No,
so it's just all in grunts, is it?
Yeah.
Because I've just recently done the Lego Batman, the first one, and again that was all in grunts, and it was okay. But I don't know. I wanted to enjoy it more, and I think if it hadn't been Batman, I don't think I'd have completed it.
Yeah. So the Lego Harry Potter is not as fun as I would have liked to, but Lego City is brilliant, so I'm happy with that. So.
Okie doke.
And that's me.
Well, Darren, obviously people who listen to your challenge with Terry and Simon, and that was, as we've said when Terry was on the show, that obviously ended close to this time last year.
Yes.
What have you picked up? Because obviously you're living the life of it at the moment, being able to buy. Well, I mean, Terry was just loving the fact he could just buy anything he wanted.
You know what? I mean, this is slightly off topic, but I think one thing I have picked up from the challenge is since completing the challenge, I've not picked up a single physical game. Okay. I've used rental. I've used the games with gold, the PlayStation Plus. I have bought digital games, but they don't feel as bad because basically you can delete them and forget about them.
Mm. But you guys actually had a discussion though with the rules on your challenge that you were going through stages of deleting digital games, and do you class them as you don't feel quite so guilty about having them on your backlog if they're digital because you can't actually see them?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, this is slightly off topic, but I decided to because I have OCD. And because I like making lists and things like that, I decided to put all my games in. There's a website called How Long to Beat.
Yes.
So I put every single game I own digitally in there. And I think I've got about 200 days worth of games to play. Which I was like, oh dear. Wow. Yeah, so I've kind of put them all in there, and it was almost like a revelation of, holy shit, even though I don't have any games on the shelf, I still have a lot of games to go through. But what it's very good at doing is you can sort them in a particular order and just say, right, show me all the games that are in my backlog that are on the Xbox that I haven't even started yet, and sort them by which is the shortest to complete. So that's what I've been doing. I've been doing that and giving it, right, well, that's a 5-hour game. I could probably get that in this week. And that's why I picked up Assassin's Creed and things like that, because that was towards the top, with it being obviously A.
Yeah.
But Colm, I know it'd take you until the end of the challenge to get all your games on there, but it's definitely something worth doing. At least it'll give you an idea of, how long a game's going to be. And if something's going to take you 40, 50 hours and you just think that's too big, you can just park it.
Yeah. It's definitely something I would like to think about.
Yeah. So anyway, games I've actually beaten this last month. This is assuming we're going from the beginning of August. Assassin's Creed 2. I completed that yesterday. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyed it a lot better than the first. I mean, just the fact that you can actually swim.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that was one of the problems with the first one. You spent most of your time running around lakes and stuff like that. And then as soon as you fell in, that was it. You were dead, and you just re-emerged on the side, and it was
Did
really
it not
annoying.
even take you back to the days of Grand Theft Auto? Playing GTA 3, you fall into the water, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed Assassin's Creed 2. One thing I was kind of shocked by, and I don't think this is a spoiler because I know it's in the trailer, you get a section where you're flying, and I thought that was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
A thing you'd be able to just navigate the world with.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was one mission.
One mission, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that sucks. I could have loads of fun with that.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, there was only the one. I played The Last of Us on the PS4. Got that via rental. So it had the Left Behind DLC on there as well.
I'm thinking that I really, really need to play that this month because if it gets to next month and I'm PS4ing, then will I want to play a PS3 version of a game that's many people have played twice now.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I mean, it was my first go at it. I'm a big fan of the Naughty Dog stuff, so I love the Uncharted games. And to be honest, I'm a big girl when it comes to zombie games. Anything that's jump scare, anything like that. And I thought, I'm not really going to enjoy this. But I absolutely loved it. Fantastic storytelling, fantastic controls. I had to pause, turn the lights on, that kind of thing, or play certain sections during the day because I am a big girl. But it is a very, very good game, and I can highly recommend it. The Left Behind DLC, it's okay. It fills in some blanks, but do you already have that, Justin? If not, I think it's about 12 quid.
I think, but to be fair, I think the season pass on the PS3 is not really much different.
Right, okay. Well, to be honest, there was one slight snag that I had with that game. The Last of Us was a fantastic game. Left Behind was okay. It was only 2 hours long, but it was good. Definitely not worth the 12 quid. But if you look through the DLC content, I think there's over 100 items that you can buy. It's all for the multiplayer, so it's all guns and all this, that, and the other. And I thought, if you were seriously into the multiplayer of that, would you really spend all that money getting that stuff? And why can't they include a lot more of that or drop the price? Or it just felt a bit pricey, a bit of a cash cow.
I must admit, actually, I'm of the opinion that DLC or season pass stuff, it shouldn't be gun packs. I've got no problem with it being map packs because I know that's a lot of multiplayer shooting games is a case of once you've mastered and know how to get around all the maps and where to exploit it, that's different. But if it's suddenly like, I can have a gun that one shot. Basically, I can have a golden gun. Then it can completely change the dynamic, and I could be the noobiest noob ever and still win.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, again, off topic slightly, but it's like the Need for Speed Rivals that's currently out at the moment. You can buy many DLC packs for that, which are, I can't remember what they call it, something like Fast Track or something like that, so you can instantly get all the best cars and things like that. And I thought, really? Oh, it's called the Time Saver or something like that, but they'll happily charge like 8 quid for it. Which is fine if you're willing to invest that much in one of those games, but I think it's a little bit cheating, to be honest. What else I didn't complete, but I got as far as I would get into essentially the demo, the PT demo on the PS4.
So PT is the demo for Silent Hills, isn't it?
It is, yes. I can't remember what it is. It's something trailer. Anyway, I can't remember. But basically, yes, Silent Hills. It's nothing more than a corridor with a couple of doors and some creepy noises.
Yet it's making many, many people scream.
I didn't scream, but I got as far as the first jump scare.
Yeah.
And that was about enough for me. As I mentioned, I am a big girl when it comes to these things. And it was just very eerily done. But one thing I will say is they got the lighting absolutely spot on. For the first time, I felt on the next-gen consoles that I saw something that was next-gen, because it was jaw-droppingly gorgeous.
Cool.
So, I mean, when you get your PS4, if it's still available, I'd suggest getting it and just see what the thing's capable of, because that looks amazing on it.
Okay. Well, I believe I will. Well, if the bundle I'm planning for is available, then I'll be getting Destiny and 12 months worth of PS Plus games, obviously.
Yeah. There's actually some good stuff on there. Yeah, plus a lot of the stuff that we've had over the months, like Hotline Miami, has just gone to PS4.
Yeah.
And there's a number of games that just keep coming to the PS4. So if you haven't already played them, then you might as well play them on the big screen.
Yeah, I've got Hotline Miami on the PS3, but I from what I gather from talking to like Rob on Last Save Loaded, he felt the Vita was a better fit for it than the PS3 was, and I found that with MotorStorm RC that it was definitely better to play it on the Vita than it was on the big screen, in my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
but who's to say? I probably won't even install much until I change the hard drive, because I don't want to fill up the hard drive and then have to change it.
Right. Okay. I mean, to be honest, I've got quite a lot of games on it, and I bet I'm not even over 50%.
Yeah, but I've got a 400 gig hard drive in my PS3 that is full, and I'm playing games with large, like 20 gig file size, just so I can delete them and then download the next game onto it.
Right, understood.
That's why I'm playing things like Metal Gear Rising and Kuni, and now Assassin's Creed.
Understood. So currently playing. Now, most of these games I dip in and out of. These are maybe the scratching the surface of all the games that I've actually got in progress, but these are current games. So Titanfall is my go-to. I have a Thursday night meetup with a couple of mates, and we just plow through a couple of levels, have a few beers, and shoot a couple of people in the face, which is a fantastic game. I'm sure Colm knows all about that now. Battlefield 4, I'll cover it later, but I picked up the EA Access just for Battlefield 4, to be honest. I was looking at it, it said 20 quid, Battlefield 4 and 3 other games. 2 of those games I'm never going to touch. I'm not into a sports games fan, but Battlefield 4 seemed worth it for 20 quid. Picked up a game at the weekend, Super Sanctum TD. Have you ever played any of the Sanctum games?
No.
They're essentially tower defense, but third-person shooters as well. So you put down all your towers, you've got your things coming at you, and you can control a person, obviously, and you can have up to 4-player co-op. And you, not only do you level up your towers, but you level up your weapons and the likes. And it's a very good game. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's done by Coffee Stain, who did Goat Simulator. So it's got that kind of wacky sense of humour in there as well. Absolutely loved it. I'm only about halfway through, but it's very much it's a very solid tower defense game. So I'm loving that. I started playing Proteus, which we got last month.
Yeah, that you can't tell anything about the game from the trailer.
No.
It's basically here's a very pastel-y landscape, and that's kind of all it shows you.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I again, using the how long to beat, I put it in, it's about 2 hours to complete the main story. I was like, okay, I can do that. Power through that and just get the Chivos and move on. It's a very surreal game, and there are trophies for the likes of just walking around the entire coast. There's a trophy for that. Following every path, there's one for that. But then it gets a bit surreal. So you've got to, at certain times of days, you've got to stand in front of certain things, which turn it then through the seasons. And then if you do that and go to a certain point, other things will happen, and then another trophy will drop. And it was just, It was very bizarre. But it's a lovely place to be. It's nice music. It's I don't know. It's just a very surreal Disney type world. So yeah, that's a nice little go-to. I'm currently playing Remember Me, which is a game from...
We got that on Plus as well.
We did. I don't know if you've played it or not.
I've not because... Colm, you played it, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you weren't a massive fan?
No, it was too... I don't know. It made me get sick, travel sickness sort of effect on me, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just gave me that effect. And usually games don't, but for some reason this did, so I stopped playing it when I couldn't, you know?
I'm always playing in small chunks, so I'm maybe 25% of the way through. But I think graphically it looks stunning. It's in a post-pop... Well, no, it's kind of a Blade Runner-esque world, and it just feels like a very rich environment that you're playing in. The controls are good. It's the game that had the create your own combos, which it's kind of a bizarre concept, and it's all about timing. So you can't just spam the X button. You've got to press them like bang on time, and you'll get like a perfect combo out. But you can switch your combos around, so it's like your last hit will actually heal you or do like a critical hit or something like that. It's quite clever, but I'm liking it. And now I've finished Assassin's Creed. That's a game I'll be going back to get finished. And finally, my other go-to game at the moment is Borderlands on the Vita, or I should say Borderlands 2. I picked it up a couple of months ago, and to be honest, it's one of those games you can just play for 5-10 minutes, save, or play for 2-3 hours, and really enjoying it. I know people absolutely slagged it off with frame rate drops and stuff like that, but the size of the game on a Vita is immense. And yes, I've seen some of the frame rate drops, and yes, it doesn't look pretty as is on the PS3 or the Xbox, but it's on the bloody Vita.
Yeah.
And to that, absolute hats off to them. I think they've done a cracking job of getting it that on there.
And I mean, what was it? We had an evening of playing Borderlands 2 couple of months ago, I guess it'd be now. And have you tried the multiplayer? Does it feel sort of drop in, drop out?
Apparently it does the same. You can only have one person drop in, drop out. The only other person I know that's got it, I mean, obviously, is Terry, because he has all the games.
Vita's got no games, man.
I keep hearing this rumour that Vita's not got no games, but to be honest, the amount of game... I've got a 32 gig memory card, and I have to delete games every time it comes to the PS Plus rollout, because I've probably got 20-30 games on there, and I have to go through and say, I'm maybe not going to play that one, and decide which one I'm going to delete, because I've got some solid games on there. I think the whole rumour is coming from, if you walk into a shop, there's very little Vita games, and I agree to that. But if you look on the Vita store, or I should say the PlayStation Store and the Vita section, there are loads of games, and there are a load of good games as well.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those catchphrases that is cool to say, and people keep saying it, and it will forever be said. I mean, it's like saying that there's only HD remakes on the PS4 and the Xbox One. True, there are a lot of them, but that's not the only thing that's on them.
I know. I mean, it's like all the 1080p, 60 frames a second, all that rubbish. I'm sick of hearing about that as well.
Yeah.
It's just like games are games. If you enjoy them, you enjoy them. Does it matter how they look or run?
Well, the 1080p thing, most people who have an HD TV have a 720p TV anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or only got a 32-inch and wouldn't see the difference anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Crazy.
Anyway, next section.
What
have we picked up? Justin.
Well, as we're recording this before the September PS Plus, I'm not going to say those games that I'm about to pick up tomorrow. Games that I have picked up on Plus for August, though, is Crisis 3, which, I'll be honest, I'm never going to play. Fez on Cross-Buy, which, yeah, I might give it a go. I probably will, because I've heard a lot of good things about it, but then I've also heard a few people really not liking it, so it's not for everyone.
I've got it. It's I tried playing it with a few beers inside me, and I didn't get too far.
Well, I won't have that.
But I think it could be a very good game if you're willing to put in the time, I think.
Well, the time I've put into some of the games I've played is far more than it should be, so...
Understood.
Maybe. Road Not Taken, which I didn't, I downloaded, but I haven't even got a clue about. Lego Harry Potter Years 5 to 7, which, again, downloaded, but I'm probably never going to touch. For two reasons. A, it's Harry Potter, and B, it's another Lego game, and after playing through two of them, I really don't fancy any of them. They're not my type of game now. Metrico and Proteus, which you were just talking about. Now, I did earlier this evening, or it might even be last night, get gifted a code for Galactic Civilizations on Steam that It's All-Star had on a Humble Bundle that he was giving it away, and I basically said, "Oh, I understand. Is that like normal Civilization, which I put in a lot of time years ago?" And he said, "Well, I can see why you'd think that. Here's the code." So I've not cashed it in yet, but it's it got DM'd to me something like 20 hours ago. So that was the only sort of non PS Plus game I picked up, really.
That's not bad. Looking on this, Adam as similar to yourself, but with the Xbox. So he's got games with gold. So Crimson Dragon, Strike Suit Zero, Wise Origin from a person, and Shuffle Puck, Cantina Deluxe from another person, Dubious.
These must be forum members at Giant Bomb called Lizard and in Europe member Ike.
So, I mean, so I'm a little confused with this. People seem to get gifted a lot of stuff.
Well, Ali, It's All-Star was he was just on Twitter going, "Look, I've got codes. Anyone want them?" We ended up we've done the same with codes that we've been given on this show to give away. We just
so it's more like trading, is it?
Well, it's just a case of, obviously we've done competitions where the Velocity Ultra codes that I gave away on on Vita last month, they were snapped up within probably 4 days of the show going live.
Oh, wow.
And, they were straight away. The Steam code, that didn't go until probably last week, but that went to someone that someone I actually know, because the only person who actually replied when I retweeted about it was looking at their Twitter posts. They appear to be one of these people who does nothing but go on Twitter and retweets for a chance to win this game.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm sorry, but I wasn't going to give away the game to a spam monkey. And I asked one of my friends, and he said, "Yeah, I'd really like to give it a go." So I passed it on to one of the guys that I named one of my snipers on XCOM after, who's on Twitter as Hard Rockin' Guy.
Okay. I just must go in different circles. That's all. Because I tend to not get gifted anything.
Well, that's because you're not Simon.
Yeah, fair game. Colm, would you like to walk us through which... bearing in mind, we still haven't finished the challenge, but go ahead, Colm.
What challenge are we talking about here?
We haven't finished the year yet, I think, is the point he's making.
I know that, yeah. I know exactly what he means, but I'm just being sarcastic. Okay. Well, seeing that I had such a great month last month, normal service has resumed, lads.
Good lad.
So, you'll be all pleased to know that I've picked up more than my fair share.
How many people's shares did you pick up?
And is there a story to go with each one of these, or we just come in clean?
No, I wouldn't have enough time to give you all the story, so I'll just give you an overview of how I got each one individually. Okay. Xbox One.
That was
because
for your
my
birthday. Yep. Okay.
EA Access.
Right.
Because I had €25 in my bank account, and I.
Is that for your normal living expenses?
Yeah.
You know?
So living expenses. Yeah.
Let's just roll that back. So you had £25 in your bank. So you bought EA Access.
The family
that's
is
kind of feeling the challenge kind of heavy.
It sort of seemed like a great bargain.
So let me just put this into layman's terms. You had money in your bank, so you bought a game, or should I say a game package, which give you 4 games.
Yeah.
Thus failing the challenge massively.
Yes.
Okay, carry on.
Nothing new there. Okay. You see, I told you I have no shame.
The year of no shame challenge.
Yeah. Titanfall, which I got with my Xbox One.
Okay, fair.
Super Mario Sunshine, which I got from a birthday present.
Okay.
Okay, is that okay? South Park Stick of Truth, which I bought with some birthday money I had, which is the truth.
Okay, no.
Animal Crossing on the 3DS.
And Source.
And Fire Emblem.
Okay.
Both of which I had enough, both of which were on sale.
Right.
So both of which I had enough credit on my eShop account. And I got them.
Okay.
Okay. I know, it's going to be a long one.
Yeah, please continue.
I got Claire and Stanley Parable from my friend Adam Ducker.
Okay.
For my birthday. And I traded in some games.
Okay, so which games do you trade in? Just out of curiosity. I mean, I just wonder if the euros games were worth a lot more euros than they are pounds.
Oh yeah, I had well, I'm not really coming clean here because.
But you hide it so well, Colm.
I brought. Okay, this is what happened. Right, this is the overview of what happened for this last game I got.
Okay.
I had Monster Hunter for the Wii U.
Okay.
Which I got a couple of months ago, and the lads went, not a very good move, Carl. You could put 300 or 400 hours into that game and you still wouldn't finish it.
Yeah.
So with that reply, it took about 3 or 4 months to sink into my head. I decided I'm never going to play this, so I might as well get some money for it.
Okay.
So I brought that back. And
you got how much for that? Maybe 5, 10?
No, I did well with that one, because that's quite rare now, and CEX gave me €25 for that one.
Okay.
And what did I have? Oh yeah, I brought Mario and Luigi back.
Okay.
Because I'd finished that. And I brought Kid Icarus back. Because I
3DS.
just wasn't going to finish it.
Okay.
And so what I did with Kid Icarus and Mario and Luigi, I got Tomb Raider, the special edition,
right? Okay.
Which I've played 4 times already, and it was €30 in HMV. So I said, right, I'll take that €30. I'll take that one, and bring it round to CEX, because I knew I'd get more for it round at CEX. Right, and I had my eye on this Diablo 3.
Okay.
And GameStop were asking for €70, ludicrous price, for Xbox One version.
Yeah.
I wasn't going with that. So I said, and the 360 version of the same game they were only charging €35. It's half price basically for the same game.
Yeah.
So I went to CEX and I brought in the other games, and that amounted to €50.
Okay.
Okay. So they were selling the Diablo 3 version second hand for €50. Okay.
That's lucky. Okay, go.
Okay. So that's as far as being good I was. Then I went into HMV and CX were selling Legend of Zelda for €30.
Okay.
So Link to Past. So I bought that extra. So basically, I've more than fallen off the wagon this month. I've actually made up for last month's goodness, and I've made a total shambles of this month. And so basically, I am hanging my head in shame, if you could see me here. And that's basically what I've done this month. I'm sorry, listeners, but that's it. I've come clean.
You have.
Totally clean. I wasn't going to come clean about that bit, but I did.
Well done.
You've got to just man up and go the last month now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to. Yes.
You've got enough games to play. You don't need to buy any more, and you can save the pennies for another month and then go crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. But I have to say, Fire Emblem is a fantastic game. And it's not something I would have liked.
Okay.
But I think one of my Twitter friends was saying that, it looks like the type of game you'd like, Colm. I think he was just trying to tease me. And I got it on the sale. Because it was like €29, I think, in the sale last week. This sale that they're doing for Smash Brothers sale they were doing for 2 weeks, and they were doing the first week they had Animal Crossing, and the second week they had Fire Emblem.
Okay.
So yeah,
it's not bad.
Yeah,
to be honest, I'm a big fan of Animal Crossing. Sadly, that was the game that nearly broke me on the last challenge. But yeah, it's a very good game. Let's see. So what have I picked up? So PlayStation Plus, because I've got that across the Vita, the PS4, and the PS3. So all the games come with that. And as Justin was saying, so that was Road Not Taken, Fez, Crysis 3, Proteus, Metro. Was it Metrico? Yeah, and Lego Harry Potter. And what drops in yesterday, like a bloody time machine. What drops in tomorrow is Velocity 2X, Sports Friend, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, Horde, TXK, and Your Danger for the Vita. So yeah, that's a whole more games going on the virtual pile.
Yeah, well, having just recently finished Joe Danger and Joe Danger 2, that basically is what you get with the Vita version, although there are a couple more Vita touches to it. I think I can't see myself downloading it. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale for myself, I mentioned back, I think it was in July, when I went to my mate's house and he went, you might as well have that because I don't have a Vita. So I'm already 2 down on these games. So, because I think Joe Danger, I'm sure that I paid for the bundle, like Joe Danger and Joe Danger 2, back after, it was either after Year of Gamer last year or it was the year before. It must have been the year before. And I'm sure people have said that one of those, if not both of them, have been on PS Plus as well. So, I lose count of the amount of games I've clocked up on it because I've been on it since the very early days when it was nothing but PS Minis and discounts.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
But to be honest, this is why I'm using that How Long to Beat, so I can just put the games on there and see if one of these games that doesn't really look my cup of tea and it's going to be 100 hours, then I'll just not bother downloading it.
That's probably a sensible thing.
Yeah. And same Games with Gold, so same as what Adam picked up. And as of yesterday, we had on the Xbox, we had Super Time Force, and we returning Crimson Dragon. And on the Xbox 360, we get the Monaco, and on the 16th, we get Halo Reach. So they will be going back onto the pile. I think I've already got a digital version of Halo Reach, so there's only really 2 I had on there, which isn't too bad. I decided to drop on the EA Access, like I mentioned earlier, Long story short, I had Battlefield 4 out on rental, and that was in the early days when it was very buggy.
As opposed to now, when it's very buggy.
Well, I'm just hoping it's not as buggy as it was. I got 75% of the way through the game, played some multiplayer, went back to the single player, and my game was gone. I was like, right, rage quit. Post box and sent it away. So I thought, for the sake of 20 quid, there's Peggle 2 in there. There's, as I said,
FIFA.
Yeah, I'm not really a sports game fan, to be honest.
No, I'm not myself, but my son loves to beat the crap out of me at FIFA. So, for the entertainment purposes.
Do you know, you're saying about your son, right? I really hate when there are people who play the game a lot. It could be that, it could be something like a Guitar Hero, DJ Hero, that sort of thing. And then they know that you've played it, and they go, oh yeah, let's have a game. And next thing you know, they've cranked it onto like hard or expert or something, and they're merrily, scoring goals or clocking up the points left, right, and centre, and you're going, I can probably, touch 1 in 5 things that are showing on the screen here.
Yeah.
And it's just the classic sort of ignorance and arrogance of youngsters, or just people who want to punish you to death for not being as good as them. And of course, I've never been one of those. Never.
Never.
So as well as the FIFA, you also get the last Madden game as well, which I think they've timed pretty spot on, because the new Madden's out now, isn't it? And I think FIFA's on the horizon. But for the sake of 20 quid, if I don't get any more games in the next 12 months, I think it's worth paying for, especially for the discounts as well.
Yeah, you get 10% discounts on our DLC or something.
Yeah, which I didn't think was too bad. So I thought, like yourself, Justin, I was in on the PS Plus right from day one. And at the beginning, it was pretty crap, to be honest. But it just got better and better. So fingers crossed this goes that way. I've pre-ordered Destiny on the Xbox One. That's already downloaded and sat on my hard drive. Just can't access it. Because I had great fun with the beta, and I thought, well, it's going to be my go-to game. Unfortunately, Titanfall may take a back seat.
There you go, Colin. There's someone you can play with.
Yeah, I'm not getting Destiny.
Okay.
I have Titanfall.
Titanfall's a very good game. I've just hit level 3, which, most of the people there are on Gen 10 now. But in the small amount of time I play, I've got to level 3, which is kind of cool.
Okay, good.
Let's have a look. Super Sanctum TD, which I picked up. It was a bargain at 69p. I picked up Sanctum 2, which was 85% off, and that was a couple of quid. Settlers 7, I don't know why. I picked that up. That was 75% off.
Go cheap. It's a bargain.
I think that's the problem with digital. It's a lot easier to press that button. If you're in a store, you see something at 50% off, you think twice. But if you fire up your computer in the morning and you just see, it's like I've just got an email this morning. There's games with the gold deals on. We're currently on a PlayStation Plus sale.
There's always a PlayStation Plus sale.
I know, but
there's always a Steam sale.
Yeah.
As Colin knows only too well.
Yeah.
Because I was going to do the Assassin's Creed 2, I thought, I've already got Brotherhood. I picked that up in the last Steam sale, but I didn't have Revelations. Now, that was 50% off, so it was about a $5 on the PlayStation Store, so I picked that up. After the fantastic reviews you guys give Ride to Hell Retribution last month, it was a whopping 10% off at £2.69, so I had to buy that.
You ain't going to play that.
Have you downloaded it?
I've downloaded it, yes.
Delete it quick.
I want to see just how bad it is.
This is the PS3 bugged to death version, more bugged than any other version.
Yes.
Yeah. Even the Xbox 360 version got a higher score than the PS3 version for some reason.
But the thing, I think it was after the last show, I think Justin said, you know what, with all its flaws, it was actually quite a good game. And I thought...
No, Justin was disillusioned for the first time in his life. Seriously, I was expecting Justin to tear this one apart, and he was too kind.
I did tear it apart, but the thing is... the culmination of so many little flaws, it just... It wasn't as bad as one game with it. Like I would say, apart from the fact that it had crippling bugs in it, I probably enjoyed it more than I enjoyed, for example, Assassin's Creed 1, which was just go somewhere, stab someone, go somewhere else, stab someone else. And, you know, there is actually some variety in the game. You know, it has moments of amusement where you have disbelief of the fact that, did that really not register the fact that I just went under that log? Or I kicked someone off a motorbike and it's just exploded, you know.
But to be honest, I do like proper cheesy films and things like that. So it might tick my boxes. I don't know.
No, don't do it, Darren. Don't do it, please. I have played cheesy games and I've enjoyed them. I swear to God, I've even, you know, I've really played some really dodgy games in my time, and I can just tell you this was the most infuriating one. And only because Justin was playing it, and I knew he was going to finish it because he doesn't do failure like me. I was 2 weekends of hell. Even my own son was telling me to get away from the game because of my personality was.
I had plenty of breaks. I had to because I was getting sick. You said "Remember Me" was giving you seasickness. This did it for me.
Okay. Well, it's downloaded. It's on my hard drive, and once I've done "Remember Me," I will give it an honest go.
Oh, good. Okay. Good.
But I'm very quick to rage quit and delete, so we'll see how far I get in it.
You mightn't even get past. The load screen. Trust me.
Well, based on what Justin was saying, I don't think I will. I've got 50-50 chance of that. I picked up Infamous Collection because I played Second Son a while back and loved it. I loved the first Infamous, and I've been looking for Infamous 2 to come cheap. Now,
it came on PS Plus a while back.
Yeah, I
missed that because that was part of it. That might be while I was doing the challenge. Basically, I did PS Plus for the first year. I thought it was a bit shit. Stopped paying for it, and then start paying for it again after the challenge. So I missed it. But Infamous 1 was 15 quid in the sale. Infamous 2 was 15 quid, and then the add-on.
Well, it is actually a standalone, the Festival of Blood, or whatever it was called.
That's right, yeah. But they had an offer on where it was 10 quid for all three. So I thought, well, I've already completed the first one, but for that price, I'll pick them up. So I did. And Batman Blackgate for the PS Vita. I played it at Eurogamer last year and really enjoyed it.
Have you tried the 3DS version of it?
No.
Because it has the same camera angles, but I'd just be interested to know if one plays better than the other.
I can put that to the test because I've got a rental service, and I don't think my next game's coming for a couple of weeks, so I can stick that on there and just see how it plays.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear if you find one is much better than the other.
Yeah, because that might put the 3D into the 2.5D, if that makes sense.
Because it is, like you say, it's effectively a sideways scroller, but done with depth perception, yeah.
Yeah. And just two others I've just thought of, well, on here actually. I pre-ordered Tropico 5 out of curiosity, because I'm kind of the Master Racer's ugly cousin. I'm a Mac gamer, so I have to wait for 6 months for games to come to the Mac. And Tropico 5 is...
Yes, they're made by Blizzard, by the way.
Yeah, which come out the same day and look awesome. But the... so Tropico 5, my other half has been... again, it's one of her go-to games. Tropico 4, she's beat with all the DLC and got... 1K'd it on the Xbox 360, and she's currently going through it on the Mac and just going through all that. So the price, she's not been able to find it very cheap, and I decided to just go and find, if you hunt around enough, you can find it at a really dirty cheap price. So I got it for like 16 quid or something like that. And just as a test run, I put it onto my Steam account and it worked. So I've got that pre-ordered.
Nice.
Whether I play it or not, I don't know.
But the wife will otherwise.
Yes. And the other game I've got pre-ordered as well is Defense Grid 2 on the on Steam as well. Absolutely love the first game. I think it's up there as probably the best tower defense game there is.
So you do enjoy your tower defense games then?
Love them. I don't know, something nice about seeing numbers popping above people's heads, and you just mowing them down and not really having to do anything. It's just you've outthought them, if that makes sense. Without you can just kind of sit back and relax and just watch waves get mowed down.
Cool.
In fact, actually, if we want a prize for the show, a pre-order bonus of Defense Grid 2 was a copy of Defense Grid on Steam. I've got the code for that. Or I should say I've got it in my inventory. So I can gift that to somebody. I've already got it.
If you would like to donate, then
no problem at all.
I don't think we've got anything else planned as prizes this month, so
I have something else as well as a little surprise as well.
Okay.
Cool.
But yeah, I can hand that out because it's just sat in my inventory. I can't do anything with it.
Thank you very much.
Well, just before we move on, I just wanted... Colin reminded me of something there. Not when he was talking, as he mentioned Adam had supplied him with some birthday treats. And yeah. Colin had been joking when Terry was on about the fact that I still was waiting for my birthday surprise from Adam. And I can actually declare that my birthday surprise from Adam was £25 into my Amazon account, which was on the grounds that I was going to buy Diablo 3 with the DLC. The new version of it.
Yeah.
And then as I got it all in there and I had it up in the basket, I looked at the calendar date and I thought, we're 6 weeks away from the end of the show. And
yeah,
if I'm gonna get this, I've still got plenty of games to buy, to play. Freudian slip there. And
yes.
And would it not make more sense for me to just hold off and get it on the PS4? So I have banked the donation, and it will be going onto my PS4 gaming fund, and I will be getting the very game that he was going to help me out with.
Excellent.
So good. Depending on what date we record the next show, I may have it on PS4. It depends. If we're clever and we record before the end of the month, then I probably won't.
Okay, so next section. What have we missed? Let's spin this round. Colm, what have you missed?
I've actually missed not buying any games, to be honest with you. I basically, it's just, I wish I could turn back time, but I think I'm just going to have to do another year of Shame Challenge. If not directly involved with the podcast, I will be a contributor through emails and so forth for next year, maybe, because I have just...
Failed.
I think I've even failed. It's not the word I would use.
There have been a number of suggestions and like names that have been flying around for people that listeners are wanting to do another year of challenge. But whether those people that are suggested are genuinely interested or just target of people's fun, I don't know. But if someone does choose to take up the challenge next year, if Colm, if you lead a team or just participate however you want to, then I'll definitely be interested in hearing how you get on with next year. Obviously, I'll be speaking to you anyway, but it's,
to be honest, I'd like to see another year. I think what's been created and what's been continued is very good. and I'd like to see a third year. I mean, I know there's people like Mr. Benno, who has attempted both challenges so far and have failed within the first couple of months. So whether he had the motivation of a podcast, could he do as bad as Terry and Colm?
Well, my decision has been to, and there was a few people who joined this conversation. Justin Nelsdal Ragnar, he invited us to try and do the equivalent of the $1 a day challenge that he's doing. And we worked out that $1 a day, if you're going with Australian dollars, works out to approximately 56p. So,
right.
Times that by 30 for your average month, you're looking at, what, 15 quid a month. And I was like, well, if you do that, you're looking at picking up one game every 3 months. And
to be honest, if you do this smart, if you exclude PS Plus and Games of Gold, assume they're already paid up, and you use that 15 quid a month to pay for a rental service.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, in theory, you're going to get, 3-4 games from Xbox. You're going to get, on average, 5 games from PlayStation Plus. And my rental service, I think, cost me 11 quid a month, and that's unlimited games. I think that's more than doable.
Well, I think if I go with £1 a day, then that's quite realistic. That is I'll probably, I don't know if I'll go for the calendar year and go like January to December, or whether I'll just, finish this challenge, have a month to go crazy and catch up on stuff I've genuinely missed out on. I think we've all but said that I'll end up with a PS4 as a definite. But I'll be honest, I was still there last week when I was going in to pick up my new phone, going, I could get a phone on contract with an Xbox for £25 a month. And then I thought,
but once you do the maths, it works out very
exactly. And I was quite surprised. I managed to get a phone that's a model up from what I've got, and I'm only going to be paying £16 a month, so I'm dropping tenner on what I'm already on. So so that's £10 a month that I've got spare to join the gym with, because sitting at home force feeding yourself games, it doesn't work on your physique well.
No, not at all. Looking on this, Adam simply says, time to play.
Well, I put that one in there because he hadn't put anything in. I thought that Adam's probably missing his actual game time because wedding imminent. I'm sure those of you that have been through that eventful day, you usually suffer other halves who get quite demanding. There's all sorts of plans, particularly when you're abroad from the rest of your family. And I think he's when we were recording the last show, we mentioned off air just before we recorded tonight, there was a bit of a gap in our recording when we did the last show because Adam had some real life stuff going on that he'd had to make time for the show, and obviously he'd missed the month before with laptop issues, but it was all down for him to be on the show for this recording, and then more wedding stuff got in the way. So we all know that he's very busy, and hopefully that big day will have happened all smoothly, and he'll have plenty of time to come and talk to us at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as things I'm missing, I said about force feeding myself games. I've concentrated on 2 pretty large games because I said that I've been looking at the file sizes on my hard drive and trying to clean them off. The problem is that playing a 50-hour game, and then when I play Mass Effect, that was your first run's normally a 40-hour run. I think I probably did it about 30 hours on this one. That's a lot of time playing just 2 games. And I didn't really get much by the way of variety. I know I've said I've played quite a few games, but I finished one game and I just kind of thought, I'm sick of playing this type of game now. Like, I don't want to touch a JRPG for quite some time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think that's just normal reaction.
But then there's others like, I still have Nier to play, and that's an RPG, and I part of me really wants to go off and play it, but I look at the rest of the games on my list and I just think, I think I might have to do the same as you, Darren, and look at time spent playing games rather than size of games, because like I've got The Cave on my list, and I know that that's only sort of 5-6 hours. I've got Malicious on there, which is probably about 6 to 8 hours, and they might not necessarily have had the best reviews in the world, but I'm still going to play them.
Yeah.
I mean, hell,
yeah, absolutely.
Right to Hell didn't have the greatest review, and I played that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
My only fear is that because of us, Justin, that more people will actually go and play the game, and then they'll bring out a sequel.
Yeah.
Because of the sudden popularity of Hell to Retribution. That's my fear.
I did not go and look if the publisher is still in business, but...
Is it not the same publisher that did Dead Island, no? I think it was the same publisher. Same crowd that did that.
I mean, it could be.
Dead Island. And they just brought it in between Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide. That's my understanding, that they brought it out between that. Dead Island Riptide. Okay,
well, as I said, I'll try and have a go over next month, and I'll report back. I'll tell you how bad I think it is.
You've been warned.
I know. What have I missed? Nothing really. I think, if anything, I don't feel I get enough time to play games. There's no reason I shouldn't. I think I just have a bit of ADD. So I'll start playing something, and within about 2-3 hours, my mind will start wandering, and I'll want to go and do something else. So at most, I'm getting, at best, maybe 5-6 hours a week. And because I actually love the RPG games, I then don't give them... I mean, it's like Assassin's Creed 2. I could have quite easily sunk 50, 60, 70 hours into that, I guess. But I just flew through it, and I don't think I got the full benefit from it. I guess I'm going to do that with Brotherhood. I'll do that with Revelations, and I'll do that right up until the latest game, because Unity looks pretty special.
But isn't there 2 games? Is it 2 games or just 2 different titles?
Yeah.
Or...
Well, there's Unity and Rogue, and I haven't quite looked to see what the difference is. I saw Unity as a co-op 4-player, and I thought that looked kind of interesting. But to be honest, the thing that got me back onto Assassin's Creed was just watching my Twitter feed of people posting pictures of Black Flag from PS4 and just saying, "Oh, look at this," and I thought, I would love to be able to just ignore every other game and just sit there for 2, 3, 4 weeks, kind of like what I did with the Mass Effect games and the Dragon Age games. That was the only thing I played for nearly a month and got the most out of it. So as I said, missing stuff is being able to sit down for 7 hours straight and just play through a game.
Well, you're saying about the screen share thing. I know a lot of people do their stream from PS4 and now from the Xbox as well. But that PS4 screen share, loads of people do that. I think, I don't know if your Xbox One can do it, but if it doesn't, it could really do with it because...
that's an upcoming feature.
Because it is one feature that's lacking sort of repeat advertisement, because every time someone puts one of those up, it comes up like hashtag PS4 screen or something like that.
Yeah. I think it's brilliant. I mean, there's nothing better than... I took loads of screenshots. I didn't publish them, but of The Last of Us, there'd be a point you get to, you've been in like a dark, dingy area, and then you come out and there'd be a sunset and trees and foliage and stuff. You're like, that's gorgeous, take a screenshot of it. And it's just that kind of thing. I think we get into that point where, it's like with the PS4 when they're having that thing where people can actually, instead of like using Twitch, they can actually watch your game and control it. That sounds kind of exciting as well. But anyway.
As a lucky man that has both systems. Which one do you prefer?
A tough one. Very tough one.
If you've got a multi-format game like Assassin's Creed, which way do you think you'll jump?
Okay. So I have an Xbox One, and I bought it purely for Titanfall. Because I played that Eurogamer, and I put my pre-order in straight away because I really enjoyed the game.
Didn't go for the huge statue version, did you?
No. I'm not allowed to buy any more big statues. The house is full of them. So all my friends have got Xbox Ones. So it's like we play Forza and we play that, and we have a gaming night every Thursday. However, I prefer the PS4 controller. I prefer the PS4 integration, so that, like the microphone in the controller, the light bar on the back, and I prefer the uncluttered UI. Personally, experiences that I've had, I would. Well, to answer your question, Justin, if there was a multi-platform game and it didn't have multiplayer, I would be picking it up on the PS4. However, my multiplayer games, because all my friends have Xbox Ones, I'll pick up on Xbox Ones like I have done with Destiny.
Good answer.
Yeah.
He said nodding silently. I realised I was nodding away, and like that's very good for an audio show.
Yeah. I think they've both got the strengths and weaknesses. If I was to pick one of the two, I don't think I could. There's features I like on both of them. And to be honest, I've got a 52-inch TV, and to be honest, this 720, 900, 1080p, I don't care. If the game's good, the game's good. So what?
Just look at Thomas Was Alone. That game was a nice little treat to play, and you're all but playing with Tetris blocks.
Yeah.
You don't need super high def visuals for that.
No.
The same with To the Moon. That was such a good game to play on the PC. It's just 16-bit graphics. It was such a good game.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing.
I think it's the media that hype up that 1080p.
It is, yeah.
And PC gamers.
It's not the real. It's not the real gamers.
Yeah. So yeah, to be honest, I've got a very high spec iMac, and it'll play most of the games it plays them at 1440p, and things do look gorgeous. But at the end of the day, a game's a game. As you said, you can have a 16-bit game that plays and gives you that same fun experience as something that's all singing, all dancing, taking up 3/4 of your hard drive.
Yeah.
So.
And speaking of hard drive, do you have? You probably obviously don't have much space left on either one because, by the sounds of all the games you've been down.
No, I've got over 50% on both. So basically, everything that I've downloaded on the 360, I think I was at 46% usage, and I've every game I own is digital.
On the 360
on the 360, yeah. But yeah, it's doing quite good. Plus, if I understand correctly, the Xbox One will do something smart. If you start running out of space, it'll work out what you played the least, or should I say the furthest away. I can't think of the word.
Right. Yeah.
And then it will actually remove that. But then it puts them in a column of ready to install.
Oh.
So if you do decide that all of a sudden you want to go back to, let's say, Titanfall or something like that, you can click the button, re-download it, and away you go. And then it'll remove something else to make room for that.
Cool.
So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Okay, so thoughts and feelings. Obviously, coming up to the end of the challenge, I know at this point last year I was getting kind of giddy. And I was thinking, it's only a month left. I could maybe do this. And I was turning into Colm. I was thinking of excuses. I was thinking, what can I was thinking of?
What could Colm think about doing this?
Yeah, I was thinking, well, the next time I speak to the guys will be after the challenge. So, if I just, played things on the Xbox offline and things. But I did manage to persevere. But I know currently for you both, well, not Colm, but for you, Justin, I must be getting kind of hard knowing there's...
Okay, let me answer
horizon.
before you ask the question. Right.
Okay.
I had today off work. I went into town today. I went with my savings book and I withdrew several £100 from my savings. Ready for the PS4.
Nice.
That being said, I have not bought one. And the thing is, right, I said that I would probably get a PS4 Destiny bundle. And the white PS4 was announced. And it made sense that was going to be what it was. So I thought, yeah, cool. If Destiny comes out on the 9th of September, then that's only 3 weeks from the end of the challenge.
Yes.
And, I'm probably going to have a reasonable chance of getting that bundle 3 weeks after they launch it.
Yeah.
But it did occur to me that that's relying heavily on chance.
Yes.
And I had to go and speak to, or try and contact Game, who are the only people in UK that are doing the white console bundle, and say, look, if I did the pre-order, would you keep it for 3 weeks until I can pay you? And them being them, basically went, yeah, we're not going to do that because if we've got the stock, we need to sell it. So I then got left in the thought of, okay, well, do I care about having the white PS4? Not really.
Yeah.
The reason that I looked into getting the white one was because historically the white versions seem to hold their price more. Certainly with the PS3 or the PS2, they've just, I don't know if they're selling it yet, but they have announced the white Xbox One now.
They have, yeah.
It's just, it won't go with the rest of the equipment under my entertainment centre. But it's purely for the fact that it would hold its resale value. And I've got plenty of games. I'm certainly in no rush to play Destiny. I know I've got the money ready, but I haven't bought it. And I'm just going to have to keep an eye on stock levels and see if I can...
Yeah, but could you just not pre-order it, take it home with you, and then put it up in the attic for the next 3 weeks?
Well, I know I could... Yeah, I mean, if they sold it now, I know I've got the self-control to just bring it home and put it away. Or just even leave it next to the TV and just go, yeah, well, that's not getting touched for 3 weeks. I know I've got the self-control to do that. But the argument is, that's then clearly not going the year.
No, I disagree. I around about this time last year, actually, I bought Animal Crossing. There was some reason it was part of a deal or something like that. Or it was
that not
cheap.
When they were doing the buy 2 games and get a code for a third game or something? Because Colm, you got something on that, didn't you?
Was it? Yeah.
I got that on Mario Kart.
Yeah, I'm sure they were doing it on the 3DS though. They were doing
Yeah.
They were doing something like that, all right. For I think that was for Animal Crossing. If you bought Animal Crossing, you got select game or something like that.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Like
that might be why you got that. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was so my other half bought Animal Crossing, and she registered it, and because I hadn't registered mine, I then was able to register my 3DS and get Animal Crossing referral code. And I got it for
that's
free.
right, yeah.
But I only had a small time window to do that in, so I didn't lose out, because at the end of the day, it's a challenge. It's not about spiting yourself. I got it and acquired it, and on the 3DS, I took it right over to the right-hand side and just left it there and just never played it. So I think if you bought it, then fair enough. You're not going to utilize it. So as Colm said, stick it up in the loft, stick it wherever. You've got it at the end of the challenge. You plug it in. There we go.
Well, I have had that kind of turmoil, because when obviously the Mario Kart thing came out, part of me thought, I wouldn't mind having a Wii U, and I wouldn't mind having a Wii U with a free game.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm not going to rush out and buy one just to take advantage of this. I mean, I said back then, I did have a look out for see if there was a stupidly cheap price that it would have been, ridiculous not to pick it up. But at the same time, I didn't do it, and I stopped myself looking because it just wasn't in the spirit of things. So, yeah, I have booked 2 weeks off at the start of October to either play new games or play on PS4 or whatever, or just what is actually going to happen, do some housework. But, my free time has suffered because I'm just too focused on playing the games and clearing the backlogs, or trying to, yet at the same time knowing that more games are coming in all the time. I'm in no particular must-have about picking that up straight away, but as you say, it comes down to if the stock is severely limited, and from what I understand, they have stopped taking pre-orders now. So it's...
Well, put it this way. I mean, you're speaking to somebody who's got the special edition Halo Xbox and the special edition Gears of War Xbox. Didn't need them. They were special offer, and I knew that if I didn't order them, then I wouldn't have them, and I'd just be kicking myself. So that's what I'm suggesting. If it
sounds like something you would like to get, is the white PS4, and I am certainly not going to throw the first stone and accuse you of failing. I don't think there's anybody listening to this podcast could accuse you of failing. Well, certainly not failing as much as I did. I don't even think Terry failed as much as me at this stage, but I would certainly, I don't know you that well, but from what the type of person you are, you would be kicking yourself come October the 1st if you had to go into game and pick up the black one rather than
black one's 30 quid cheaper as well. I could have picked up the...
but it's if it's something you want, and I think at this stage it's something you deserve, it'd just be a pity that if you had to wait till the end of the month that you would miss out on that. Just for the sake of 3 weeks.
I've drawn out the money. They do have a midnight opening. Don't ask me how I know that. And
I would do it.
I would do it.
Let's move on. I feel like I'm having too much attention.
Okay.
Colin, what have you been missing?
Nothing. Not a sausage.
No, we're in thoughts and feelings.
Thoughts and feelings. Let me see. From last month's high to this month's low. Oh, the shame. What makes me laugh is the Twitter support I got from the community. You lads have been all good for most of the year, and yet nothing is said about that. But I got 1 month without buying it, and everybody's congratulating me. Everybody loves an underdog, but, I think normal service will have resumed by the time they listen to this podcast, so the hate mails will be coming back in.
So you get hate mail. I think you get regret mail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a simple there, Colm. It's okay.
Yeah, there. It's okay, Colm. Cry yourself to sleep at night. Okay, great. So yeah, that's it. Darren? For
me, I think this is going to be a slightly different concept because I'm 11 months past where you guys were. I can put my hands up. I think I was probably the strongest one from the last year. And I learned a lot from it.
You were the shining beacon of light.
Yeah. I was very good up until the middle of summer Steam sale. I did go a little bit mental, but realistically I didn't spend more than about 20-30 quid. However, I did fill my collection quite a lot. And since then, there's pretty much been a PSN sale on every week, and there's been an Xbox sale on every week. And I will look through them. And if there's a game that maybe a game I actually got rid of and thought, you know what, I'd really like that, and it's down to a $5 now, I will pick it up. So I'm not really helping my current pile. As I said, I've probably got about 200 days worth of games to play. So I think you will both probably have a little mad dash when the challenge finishes. Colm, God knows how many games you're going to pick up.
I'm not going to have a mad dash. I'm going to have a big purchase, and that'll be it. That's going to cost me several £100.
Colm's going to be like a fat kid in a candy store, isn't he?
Just download every game at a Steam sale.
I own them all. He's going to go through his Xbox One and just buy all.
Yeah.
Colm has been asking people on Twitter about the options of a USB hard drive for his Xbox and his Wii.
He's already run out of his 500 gig, hasn't he?
Well, it's more the Wii U you were looking for,
well,
wasn't it?
It's not. Yeah, it's the Wii U, yeah.
32 gig is not a lot.
Yeah, it's not enough, no.
No. I mean, one thing I did learn is, I think as I mentioned earlier, buying physical discs, I've got past that now and everything's digital, so it's a lot easier to sweep under the carpet, so to speak.
Is that just hiding your shame and guilt even more? But
I think it is, but that's why I use that How Long to Beat, so I could get everything on there and just see how shameful I was. But again, one thing I mean, a lot of people are slagging off this EA Access thing. I actually encourage it. I hope more companies do this, and the sooner we get a kind of Netflix for games, the better. I mean, I would happily pay, 30, maybe even 50 quid a month for a service that just lets me have all the games. I go play them, delete them, move on to the next one. And that's a future I want to see.
Do you not miss physical games?
No.
Do you not like having a little collection?
No. To be honest, yes, I did. So when I used to play Warcraft, I used to have all those stacked up. The Halo games, I used to have all those stacked up and that. But the fact that I can go onto my hard drive and see all the Halo games there and all that kind of stuff just looks a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
And plus, it's the lazy man's version. If you're sat on the sofa and you switch the TV over to the Xbox and you think, what shall I play? And there's a game over on the shelf and you think, I'm not going to play that. That means get enough. You can quite easily whip through your hard drive and get right up there.
You're saying about this, right? And there are a number of people that we interact with that are on Twitter who are hardened collectors of physical games. You know, and they'll play digital games, but they must have the physical. And like, I know Neil Taylor from GameBurst has just moved house, and I also know how many games he had. Like, he has basically a wall that is organised into PS1 games, PS2 games, Xbox 360 games, and
yeah.
For someone like you, like myself, who has a mild case of OCD, you go through stages of you need to have all those organised.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Alphabetical.
And then you start realising, like, I'm sitting here now and I've still got a cupboard full of PS2 games. I haven't taken one out of that cupboard in 15 months. It's just taking up space. Yeah. But I couldn't get rid of it. You know, and you have that mindset of, like, once you've got it, you must keep it. And you may never play those games, but they're there because part of you tells you that you need to connect it all. And I'm looking at my PS3 piles now, and they are exactly that. They're piles of games because they're stuff that I've taken down, and I tried keeping them somewhere else in the room to separate them from the PS2 and the Wii games and whatever. And now I've got 4 different stacks in different places on coffee tables and, you know, next to the hard drives and stuff, where I've just put it to one side, you know, stuck the disc in and walked away, and then come along to the next one, and I haven't put it back, and it makes a mess of the place. And I don't have any attachment to having that physical media anymore. And I could go, well, I've seen it with the Vita. I've got 2 physical games on the Vita, and I've got a 64 gig card in it. I have absolutely
I've got no physical games.
Everything there, loaded, ready to go as soon as you turn it on. Yeah,
absolutely. It's just the future I want to see, to be honest. It's, I mean, I went digital. Again, slightly going off topic, but probably about 3-4 years ago now, I went through the process of converting all my DVDs to digital form and sticking them all in iTunes.
That's not a slow process, is it? Or a file-intensive process?
No. It took a while because there was a lot of TV box sets and stuff like that, so you had to rip everything individually. And anyway, I got to the bottom of it, but I'd done it. I'd got all the meta tags on there and everything like that. You look in iTunes, and I'm pretty much an Apple fanboy. Everything in the house is Apple, so everything works together.
My son is the same.
So basically, I've got everything in my iTunes library. I want to pick a film. Instead of rummaging through and thinking, where's that disc gone? And then trying to fire up the DVD player and all the rest of it, I simply switch on the Apple TV, pick the film and press play. And that's what kind of started me on this journey. And now I've done it with all my gaming. I'm more than happy. I mean, I can just walk into pretty much any room and fire up whatever console's in there and know there's just a load of games on there, without having to run around the house and find a disc.
I've downloaded a picture of Tarkin from Star Wars, and there's a bit where obviously he says to Darth Vader, talking about the Jedi, "You're the last of their kind that exist," or something like that. And I'm not going to give the exact quote, but I basically I did a meme generator. I got the picture and I wrote over the top of it, "You're the last of their kind." And every time someone on Twitter starts saying like, "Oh, it's got to be digital, it's got to be physical media," I just post them that picture.
Yeah.
Like, come on, stop being
Nice.
10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, digital future for me. But it's good. It's good. But it does hide stuff, as you said, Colm. But I can happily hide it.
Yeah, I think it's better digitally hidden than physically hidden.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, I was at one stage. We had an old wardrobe in the room. It's built in there, but in behind at the side there was a bit of space between the wardrobe and the wall, and I used to throw my discs in there as a hiding space. I'd take the discs out, but I'd throw the boxes in there. And at one stage there must have been 300 boxes.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. So, I have problems.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is, but it's just a bargain, and you're just being bombarded with bargains all the time. You really do have to stay off the internet,
You do, yeah.
You do. I mean, otherwise you're just going to get bombarded. Oh, this game is great. This sale's coming on. And, sometimes it's just the industry. It just bombards you with great. The next big game is Destiny now coming in, on the 9th. Then as soon as Destiny's out, the next big game will be GTA 5.
Yeah, for the next gen and stuff.
There's always something. It's never, it's never like a case of, okay, let's enjoy Destiny for 6 months, play it, enjoy it, and then the next big thing will come along. Like, I don't remember it being so intense when the SNES was out, and, I know we didn't have the same communications, and
I think that was a lot to do with it. Realistically, you had a magazine once a month, didn't you? So at least you had a month's grace. With this, you've just got so many different forms of social media now. You've got many different websites saying this is good. I mean, it's like it's like this Velocity 2X. I probably read over the last 2-3 days about 5, 6, 7 blog feeds of people saying, "Oh, this is brilliant. It's the best game you're ever going to play." So
it's hype.
Which worries me because if there's so many people hyping it right now, is it that because it's a bag of crap, or is it really that good?
Well, you can find out tomorrow because it'll be on PS Plus.
I certainly can. Yeah.
To be fair, right, because I know we gave away prizes last month for Velocity Ultra, and I've spoken to the guys at Eurogamer the last 2 years that when I went. So I'm not going this year, but I said to them, obviously over the years I've had so many Future Lab games given to me through PS Plus. Is it really worth it? And they said, well, the thing is, if it wasn't for people trying Velocity Ultra as a result of PS Plus, being an indie, like a small indie market, they would never have had any visibility whatsoever. And it's only by doing that their product was made available to millions of people, that they actually got any recognition. And you've only got to look at like the App Store or something like that to know, unless you're one of those top 20-30 games, you could have the best game in the world, but you're never going to get any market share because nobody's going to be picking you up because they're too busy playing Candy Crush.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So so they also that's why there's suddenly a lot of buzz about it, because they've had an embargo on. And
right. Okay.
Like, even then, people have said, "Oh, why did you put an embargo on? Your game's available next week." And, you're not exactly Titanfall or anything like that. And they've said no. But the thing is, if people put out reviews periodically, you don't hear about the game because you see one tweet and then you ignore it 10 seconds later. Whereas if they have an embargo and suddenly everything's listed, you get flooded by all these people all talking about it at the same time. That's how the name and the recognition gets put out there. And I quite happily admit I've got a lot of Future Lab games, and I'm surprised that they're going to PS Plus, because I would quite happily pay for 2X at the end of September. And that's not even only having played a level and a half of it.
Okay.
But
interesting.
It's my sort of game, so
okay. I'll be interested to pick it up tomorrow. Sorry, Colm, I spoke over you.
No, it's just I think it's just the industry itself and the enthusiasm of the gamers, and as well as that, sales on constantly now, whereas 20 years ago you would have had to pay full price for a game.
Yeah.
They didn't really do trade-ins or anything like that, so you just had to buy one game, and as well as that, you didn't have as much free, spending money as well, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be honest, I'm quite happy that a lot of these sales is some of the games have always probably were on my pile previously are now under a tenner and way under a tenner, and it's just like, for that price, it's worth picking up and just having on the hard drive. To be honest, the more and more they do of those. I mean, to be honest, I've had to talk myself out of a couple of Xbox One games because, I mean, or should I say the next gen games, when they put the price in initially at like 55 quid, or I guess it's 70 euros across there. And then they come down to like 25 quid and it's like, must have. And it's like, whoa, actually 25 quid is still quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
I've had to do that this week actually with Need for Speed Rivals. Because I did have it on rental and enjoyed it, never completed it. But at that price I was like, oh, actually. But I had to talk myself out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, competition.
I have a code for The Cave for PS3 code from Neil Dudley.
Okay.
Neely84 on Twitter. He kindly sent in a code for the PS3 version of The Cave. So I'm not sure if any of our listeners have that, but if they would like it, just send me a text with Captain Caveman on it, and I'll send on the code to you directly. All right, thank you very much.
No problem. So that's to your Twitter account, is it?
Or to the year, shame. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
YoS or myself, Solemn67.
No problem at all. I've also got a code if anybody wants Defense Grid for the on Steam. That's Defense Grid 1. I've got a spare code. I'm more than happy to hand that over. So send me Defense to @D5120 or to the Year of Shame, and I can forward that on. It's currently sat in my Steam inventory. I'm not sure what magic needs to go on behind that, but I think I can just forward that on.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
No problem. Listener mail. So it seems Kev, Mr. Drunk Rogue, seems to send one in every single show. Hats off to the guy. Thank you very much, Kev.
Yeah.
The question this week, or I should say the question this month, not sure what to ask, so better just congratulate on you all. I'm assuming Colm's missing from that. On how far you have come, and again, missing Colm. 1 month to go. Who fancies year 2? Colm.
Yes, please see comments earlier in the show.
Yeah.
The thing is, this is.
I think.
Yeah, it was year 3 then.
I think what would make a very interesting year 3 would definitely be Colm and definitely be Terry, and just see how badly they do, because they're not going to have people like myself, which tries and gets you in the right direction, or Justin, which is, apart from the odd questionable gift, has done very well.
Yeah, I know he's doing. I know.
You can't.
Yeah, every month.
I have legitimate but occasional gifts.
Over the last year, there has been.
Yeah, you did give me some stick about this.
Okay, maybe not questionable. Maybe there's been numerous gifts for reasons or another.
No, I think Adam is the one with the numerous gifts for reasons or other. I think Justin now, I have to defend Justin now. I think he's been very good.
I think he's been the best out of the lot.
Yeah.
You sound like the bar's been set so low.
Yeah, you're just undermining Justin's achievement now. Oh, God, that makes me feel even worse now.
I think, Justin, you have done very well, but I think through one means or another, I think you probably picked up 6, 7, maybe 8 games through gifts or trades or stuff or competitions or...
That was his birthday.
Was that the birthday? Okay.
And he didn't do any competitions.
I got one, off the top of my head, I know I've got one review code, possibly 2.
Yeah, there was FTL.
FTL, I was on Steam and I said, would someone like to buy it for me? I'll mention them on the show. And someone did.
Yeah. There was call it a game or not, but there was the Ride to Hell Retribution, which was gifted.
Well, you can't say that was me asking for that.
Oh, come on.
No. But thinking back, you probably picked up maybe 10 games.
Okay, we're going to get it on Plus, but that PlayStation All Stars, I was given that because
and things like that. So again, I don't think you've done bad at all, but I think you've done.
I didn't go out of my way to manipulate the system.
No, you didn't. You didn't do.
As opposed to me just abusing the system.
At least you're out of the closet, Colm. That's the main thing.
Well.
The first couple of months, it was like, really? Did that really happen, Colm? And then after the first 3 months, it was like, okay, now he's being honest. At least you didn't come up with the lottery-winning friend excuse.
No, I have to admit, it was that Terry. Yeah, that was brilliant. I was laughing when I heard that, and I just went, he's an inspiration to us all.
Yeah. So. No, I think I agree. I mean, congratulations to Justin.
And come on, give Adam a bit of credit too. He hasn't. I suppose
Adam's done okay.
Ish.
There have been there was.
Okay, if you had to give us a grade, if you had to grade us, what would you give?
Okay, so if we were doing out of 10, I think Justin is up there as a good 7.5, 8. I think you've done really well. I think Adam is probably sat maybe about a 6, because I think there was a mid-year splurge where there was money coming from places.
He ended up with
I can't remember the exact
80
details.
quid in his
gambling.
Yeah, there was gambling and stuff like that, and then there was a 50 quid he got because his lass was going out on a stag do, and it was like, okay, I can kind of believe that.
Don't forget there was an Xbox bought because she felt guilty.
Yeah. You see, so for that I give him about a 6 because there weren't believable excuses, I guess. Then we have Colm.
We're going into the minus figures here, are we?
No, to be honest, I think you've actually scored points because you've been honest. But I think at the best, to say you set off doing a challenge and the challenge was not to buy any games for a year. Let's be honest. I mean, okay, let's spin this round, Colm. How would you score yourself?
I wouldn't even put myself on I'd be in the minus zone, really, to be honest with you. If I had to look over the notes, which I will do next month, I'd say I actually think I've only had 1 month where I haven't bought a game.
I think
that was July.
Yeah.
Where I haven't come up with some scheme, trading in games, with some scheme of some, Valentine's Day presents, or I really, used up all the excuses now I can give. So,
I mean, I think you've actually done a fantastic. I mean, the time and effort that you've actually gone through to come up with some of these excuses. I mean, for example, when we mentioned the Diablo, I mean.
Yeah, okay.
I actually believe that that's the state that you went through, but the time and effort that you've gone through just to, right, so I need Diablo, I need that, so I'm going to buy that there, I'm going to take that there, I'm going to trade that in, and then I'm going to take that to that store, see where I get there, and then go around to that one. So hats off to you for that. I think you put a lot of time and effort into it. But from a challenge point of view, I think you are probably down there about a 2.
Thanks very much. I was expecting a 1, actually.
No, because you did have that 1 month off. And the time and effort you have put into with the excuses. So I think you deserve something for that. So I think you set out about a 2.
Okay. Grant, thanks very much.
It's okay.
Well,
Thank you.
We have got a couple more emails. We've got 2, as it happens, from our supplier of Ride to Hell, Mr. Stuart Furiace3 or Furiace.
Furious,
and he started off with quite a just open question of, out of all the games you have played through the months, which is the standout / hidden gem that took each of you by surprise? Well, a standout game was Ride to Hell Retribution, but because it's clearly in a market of its own.
We're not quite a hidden gem.
As for, well, the best game I've played over the past 12 months, that's actually quite a difficult one to ask. I think I'm going to have to call up my games list and see what I've got on there. So I don't know if anyone else has got anything they want to immediately go, yes, I can answer that.
I can answer that. It's between 2, actually. The ones that I really enjoyed this year so far have been To the Moon. I just really love that game. It's just such a emotional attachment to it. And probably Brothers, or God, what's the name of that game I loved on the Wii U?
Lego City.
Ubisoft made it.
Rayman. Dancing, whatever. Just Dance.
No, it's not Just Dance.
I'm just trying to go through Ubisoft games, I know.
The one with the I can't think
didn't
of the
play
name.
Watch Dogs.
Child of Light.
Okay.
Brilliant game.
Which I've
Loved
not
them 3.
installed mine yet. Okay, well,
Great game.
as far as hidden gems, then, I think one of my standout games was Persona 4 Golden, which I still think is one of the best games on the Vita. And like you, Brothers, that was a hidden gem. Wasn't expecting anything from it, and if you were to compare that between Journey, in my opinion, and this is specifically my opinion, and I've said this several times before, it's head and shoulders above that in terms of the way it affects you, or affects me.
Yeah.
And I appreciate a lot of people would say the other way round. And Demon Souls as well. Never has a game exhausted me just through concentration of trying not to do something stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
I really enjoyed XCOM Enemy Unknown as well, and I'm looking forward to playing Enemy Within, or whatever it is, the second one.
Yeah. If I was to, I mean, I know it's not really the same, but if I was to go over the last year, I think Emotionally, The Last of Us. I know it was a very hyped game, and people say it was Game of the Year. And normally, I find those games kind of meh. But The Last of Us, I was blown away by. It was one of the few games. As I mentioned, I probably got a bit ADD, and maybe 2.5, 3 hours a day I play games. This was the game that I think I completed the entire game in 3 sittings. And once complete, I just jumped straight into the DLC because I wanted to get back into that universe. So I thought that was a proper standout game. Hidden Gems, I mentioned it earlier actually, so it's on the forefront of my mind. It's the Super Sanctum TD, and if that's still on sale at 69p, I recommend everybody pick it up if you like a tower defense game, because it's a very solid tower defense leveling system that works. Highly recommend it. That I only bought it because I own all their other stuff, and this dropped down to 69p. I would happily pay now up to about £10 for it. No problem at all.
So this is from Sean Cullen, otherwise known as Sean Aiken on Twitter, at Sean Aiken. And he says, "Hey guys, as you guys are getting ready to free yourselves from your year of shame, and by you guys I mean Justin and Adam, I thought I'd give a quick update of how my own year of shame challenge has been. First, I must confess that until the start of this new silly season, it's been a relative breeze to endure this challenge. I mean, there's been a few confession-worthy stumbles, digital games on Xbox Live for $5 each of which reminding me that I am predominantly Irish." nice little snipe there. "But I've not been going nuts over not being able to buy games. Oh, and I guess that Joker option I established at the start has been mindlessly exercised in the form of MLB The Show 14, which I've yet to start playing. Go figure. Not sure when I'll be getting the upgrade. Not sure when I'll be getting the PS4 upgrade version of GTA 5 now. Although, as of writing this, who the hell knows when Rockstar will even announce a date of release. Curious whether you guys, i.e. Justin and Adam, have any idea what game or games will be acquired upon the end of your challenge. Me, I have roughly 4.5 more months to go, and I'm kind of wishing I hadn't. I hadn't backloaded my challenge with Silly Season, as even Madden is awakening the long-denied feelings of compulsion. I'm sure I'll manage. Sincerely, Sean Cullen." That's his address. "P.S. to Colin, I say, I kid. This hobby is so compulsion-driven that I can't blame people like you when they fall off the wagon. For what it's worth, I found the Colin confessionals my favourite parts of the show." As I said, there was floods of why is it not there when you did have your good month
last month. Yeah.
So yeah, as far as what we're likely to pick up at the end, I mean, obviously, I'm having the turmoil with the Destiny bundle at the moment. These guys are telling me to just bite the bullet and get it so that I don't miss out on the opportunity to get it. And if I do that, then yes, it will sit on the shelf here and not be touched for 3 weeks. Not even to download the inevitable day one patches for the operating system. And,
yes.
Maybe I should do an unboxing. Because they haven't been done before. And as far as other games, I can't think that there's been anything out that I've particularly felt like I've missed out on. I mean, by the end of the challenge, I will have played every Assassin's Creed game other than the Vita version, which I appreciate there was a HD on the PS3 version, but I don't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
If I was going to play it, I'd play it on the Vita, and I'm probably not going to play it.
It's actually not bad.
I could consider getting in on Assassin's Creed 4, because I know so many people have said it's a good thing to be playing. I didn't end up getting GTA 5 off Neely when he mentioned it back in January, because he actually sold everything he owned ready to get his next gen consoles. So it never materialised that he was going to send it to me. So I could consider getting that and getting the new version of it, so I don't miss out. But other than that, I've said earlier on the show, the amount of HD remakes or reimaginings that are on these platforms at the moment means that I've probably already got a decent amount of games that are out, and well, it is October, November when the Christmas games will be coming out, and I guess I'm in no rush to buy extra. I've still got a massive backlog of games.
Well, again, my thought, or what I'd hoped to do during last year's challenge, was get rid of all my games. So when we hit the new consoles, I hit the ground running and I had no backlog. However, there was such a lull of games, which, to be honest, that hasn't really been filled, that I found myself going back to the old consoles, and hence why I built up my pile again. And to be honest, I can see for the next year you're going to do that. I don't think there's enough out yet on the next-gen consoles to make you forget about the old gen.
Right. Well, I'm not going to double dip. I'm not going to buy game versions of games I already have.
Double dipped. I think I quadruple dipped at this stage.
Well, no, you haven't bought games on platforms you don't already own the same game. I mean, I know you're saying like you've got Dragon Age on a couple of different platforms, and
two,
but you didn't go off and get Child of Light on the PlayStation version after hearing me opening my box and going, "Hey, look, I've got a little keyring."
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was tempted, but I didn't, because I just loved playing that game in the Wii U. So, and I think I played it to death. I put 30 odd hours into it. I believe it only takes about 8 to finish, but I was trying to get all the bits, and I think I just overplayed it now, so I couldn't be bothered.
Mm-hmm.
Even when my so-called Year of Shame challenge is over, I wouldn't bother getting it.
Even if it came on sale.
No comment.
Understood.
I think that there's the one thing that totally comes to my mind when I look back at the last 11 months and, has it changed me? Has it changed my thoughts on buying games? Is, Darren, you said earlier when you were looking at getting Tropico 5 that you do go for a stage of bargain hunting. You check all available sources for where can I get it the cheapest. And I think the people who have iPads and things like that, they have a magical price point where if a game is 99p, they don't really care about picking it up because it's only 99p. But if a game is $3.99, for some reason, that is completely unreasonable. And, you're only looking at a couple of quid more. With games, video games, big budget titles, whatever, I always kind of had a floating point where I wouldn't consider buying a game unless it was something that had been hyped to death and I knew I wanted to get it. I wouldn't consider getting it unless I saw it for £10-15. And, we are lucky enough to be living in a country where games do get discounted quite a lot, particularly on resale, very quickly. I appreciate in America, in Australia, those sorts of things don't happen. But it does mean that I definitely am not anymore the sort of person who will go, oh yes, game comes out on launch day, must have. I don't care about rushing out and to buy something just for the sake of having it because everyone else has got it. It's got to be a case of, am I actually going to play this game? And more specifically, am I going to play this game now? Because I can argue and say the majority of the games I've got in my backlog, I will play, but I don't have any sense of urgency because there's nothing that I must play right now.
Well, to be honest, over the last year, I've only had 3 games on release day. I had Killzone Shadowfall, because that came with the PS4. I had Titanfall, because that's the reason I bought the Xbox One. And Destiny is on pre-order.
Cool. What was the first game that you bought at the end of your challenge? What was the one thing that you were waiting for that you thought, I'm going to go and get that?
Animal Crossing?
Yeah, but you got that during the challenge.
Got it during the challenge. I think the first game I bought, I don't really remember. Because, in fact, no, what I did, I activated PS Plus. So I think it was probably 2-3 months before I actually went and bought a game. Because I had because I picked up PS Plus at the, I don't know, I think I stuck in like a 30-day code or something like that, and then added PS Plus on top of that. So I got July, August, and September's. Mm-hmm. So I had shed load of games to go through. So it was probably around about Christmas time before I actually bought a game, and I can't tell you what it was. It was that exciting.
Well,
however, I assume Colm will know exactly which game he bought, or I should say, which games, plural, he bought.
I'm going to try to be good now.
Okay.
And, I'm going to try.
Please, when you've come out of your HMV, GameStop, wherever, and you've got that big pile in front of you, please just post that on Twitter.
I will. Okay, grand.
Cool. Okay, well, that's the listener mail done. Thank you very much for listening. If you got this far, I think it's going to be quite a long episode. I do apologise if that's been anything to do with me. I actually blame Colm. So...
As does everybody else.
Yeah. Well, this is a penultimate show. There'll be one after the challenge, so you'll be able to catch up with the lads and just see how badly Colm jumps off the wagon at the end.
Does he manage to get on the wagon?
Yeah, and whether Justin actually buys his PS4 before the end or waits till the end and misses out on
money's
the
in my
bargains.
wallet.
Yeah.
I think you should do it.
Yeah, I think so too.
So hopefully the next episode you should have Adam back. So until then, you can catch me find me on Twitter at D5120, and you can pretty much find me everywhere at that. If not, just drop me a mail on Twitter. Colm, you can find you where?
At Solemn67 on Twitter.
And Justin?
They can, if they don't already know this, then they haven't been listening to the last few shows. I'm at On-Your6.
On the Twitters.
On the Twitters.
And I guess if they want you anywhere else, they can drop you a message.
Yeah, you can obviously contact me via yearofshamechallenge2@gmail.com. And
if anybody is actually serious about carrying the torch onto Series 3, I'm more than happy to provide the audio that's used for the start, the intro, and all that good stuff. And I've also got the Photoshop thing, so we can get some heads in there and have year 3. But drop me a message and we can get that sorted out, or at least
people can start talking and make plans.
Yeah. And if they want me to be on next year
as guidance,
I don't mind if they've had enough of me for the last 11 months.
Oh, come on, man! You've just got a new microphone.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So until the next episode, goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.